Okay, hi, I'm Greg Hren. I'm a commercial photographer here in Boston. Ever since we started our blog back in July, we've been getting lots of email questions about the gear. In fact, the most viewed page on the blog is about the gear that we take. So we thought we'd do a little explainer series to talk about our gear and to show you how we pack it. So this is the camera case that we travel with. It's the most important part of our business. The theory behind this case is that no matter what happens, no matter where we are on the planet, as long as we have this case, we can leave with a photograph. So it contains everything in a bare bones, minimalist fashion that we would need to shoot a picture. This is a Pelican 1510 case. It's approved by the airline, so you can carry it with you on the plane. It is a Pelican, so it's waterproof. You can stand on it. It keeps the dust out. And it's got a roller board, it's got a handle and wheels, so it's really convenient to travel with around the planet. The first thing that people do when they look inside this case is they're just kind of overwhelmed with the amount of volume that we carry, just the actual amount of junk that fits inside this case. And it's something that we really pride ourselves about, is fitting as much as we do in this case. It's pretty heavy, but we'll work through it. So this is, like I say, a lot of stuff, so I'm going to work through it kind of quickly. The cameras that we like to use are Nikons. Everything that you'll see in this case is labeled. It's very, very important for us in our business to keep organized. So we like to use the P-Touch labeler on everything. It's saved our ass many times when we've lost gear, or left it places rather, and people have picked it up. It's got our phone number on it and so on and so forth. And it also just helps being organized, and when you work with a lot of different assistants, it's easy to figure out where everything goes back. So the main workforce of our business is a Nikon D3. All right, you'll see this is labeled A camera. Greg Hren Photography's got my phone number on the back. We use Gitzo tripods, so each camera has a base plate on it. Okay. As I work through this, I'm just going to set everything out on the side. The second camera, or backup camera, that I like to have in the case is not a D3, but it's a Nikon D700. And there's two reasons for that. The first reason is I like it that you can have a full-frame camera now that has a vertical grip that comes off. For a professional everyday use camera, I love the D3, but where this comes in handy is I take this off and we can mount this on wings of planes and under cars, on boats, wherever, and it's a lighter camera, so we get just a high quality, just as high quality of a photograph, but with a smaller body. And then the second reason I like to have it in is this primarily on a shoot, it becomes the blog camera. So this has a generic prosumer zoom of 28 to whatever it is, 200 or something, or 28 to, I forget what the lens is. But that pretty much can shoot in low light and anything you want. It's got a pop-up flash. So it's a great blog camera, vertical grip comes off. I'm going to work through the lenses here. In this case, I have every lens pretty much that I could ever want to shoot a photograph. We start at 14 and we go all the way up to 200, and there's a teleconverter that really gets us up to 400. So the only thing I don't carry in this case is a 300 2.8, okay, which is more of a specific lens that I would bring with me in a separate case on a job for a specific shot. But again, this fits in this philosophy that this case, we can get any picture we need with just what's in this case. So I'm going to work through the lenses real quickly. Starting at the wide, we have the 14 millimeter, okay? This is probably my favorite lens. It's just beautiful. I like to call it HAL, from 2001. So there's a 14. Moving up, we have the 16 millimeter fisheye. This was a great lens when we had, when they weren't full frame cameras with the D1 and the D2X. But now that we have our full frame camera, we're back to a cool fisheye. So it's not for every shot, but it's great to have in the bag. Moving to our wide zoom, okay, 17 to 35 is a great lens. It's an oldie but goodie, all right? And this sits in here like this, and the lens shade for the medium zoom fits on top of it, like so. 17 to 35, moving up to the 24 to 70, the medium zoom, okay? It's important, if you can afford it, to use professional lenses. One of the great reasons is they're all have 77 millimeter front elements, which limits the amount of extra stuff that you have to have, okay? All the caps fit, all the other filters fit on. So on each lens, we like to have a B+W skylight filter to protect the lens, okay? Then next is our 60 millimeter macro, and this is a great lens for shooting in labs, a lot of macro stuff. on the 60 millimeter, I keep 2 extension tubes. Okay, they fit like so, and this is how it gets packaged. Again, everything is packed so that it's minimalizes the amount of stuff. And then lastly, we have our 70 to 200 long zoom. And again, everything's 77 millimeter front element. Sticking in the sort of lens range, there's our 2x, okay, so we can go up to 400. We lose a stop or two, but that's fine, okay. This is a hell of a lot easier to carry this than a 300 millimeter 2.8, which we probably wouldn't use all the time. So you can see, basically in this little case, we have every lens that we could want. I like to carry lots of extra batteries, okay. The D3 is actually very good on batteries. We can pretty much go a whole day of shooting on just one battery, but we keep one in the camera and usually 4 extras in the case, and right now there's 3 in here. We'll put them on the sides maybe. Okay, keeping in that thought of being able to get every shot that you could ever want with this case in an emergency, we have our strobe light, and this is an older case that I keep it in. It's an SB80 case, but this is the new SB900. And in the bottom, I like to keep the cable. So usually every implement that we have in here, every bag, has its cable in it. And then there's redundancy. So this is the cable that would go to a Pocket Wizard. So PC to Mini, all right? It's the SB900. To control the SB900, if we wanted to, here's the commander. This is the SU800, and this will talk via infrared to the SB900, so you can do off-camera TTL if we needed to. And then we need to deal with some sort of lighting device if we're going to shoot a picture for an emergency situation. So my first go is with this little Westcott mini softbox. Okay, so we keep this one in here. We could, so we can just definitely, if we had to shoot a portrait or what have you, with using this. And then LumaQuest makes a little bounce, okay, that fits on the top of the flash. And this would be more sort of grip and grin stuff. We could use this if we had to. I don't shoot a lot of photos with on-camera flash or off, but it's in here in an emergency. This is kind of neat. It's a little snoot for the flash if we needed to do some kind of funky lighting. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and that sits in the bottom. Here are Pocket Wizards. We have always traveled with at least 4 Pocket Wizards, 2 of which reside in this case. This is a transmitter and a transceiver, and then we also have some of the Multimax units. And in the bottom of the case are the cables. Again, we always keep the cable with the device. And there's 2 cables. One would be to connect the PC of the camera to the flash in case a hot shoe broke, okay? Or, and then there's the cable to go from the Pocket Wizard to the ProPhoto. And basically what we use is ProPhoto devices. So there's our cable, and there's also another redundant cable